Sup, fuckers? It is January 1st, 2023. Happy New Year to everybody. We got a big show for you today. We're finally back. We're going to recap Thursday Night Football, even though we didn't make a pick on that game. We have some college football to recap as well, as the semifinals happened yesterday. We had some NFL news as another coach has been fired and another quarterback has been benched. And we are going to make our 5 dose picks. Even though it was late, we're still going to do it. Let's fucking go.
This is the Secondary Lead.
Hello and welcome to Secondary Lead SportsCast. I'm Weber, joined as always with Travis.
Sup, nerds?
How's it going? I am semi-distracted here. Forgot how a computer worked. It's been a week. Also bought little new toys to add to it to make it a little easier on this whole streamlined process. But yeah.
Seems you're hanging with the Penguins.
Yeah, with the Penguins. It's fucking cold, even though it's warmer now. But yeah.
Well, I was just up there with you. Didn't get a chance to see you. I'm sorry about that.
You're an asshole. It's fine. You didn't even reply to messages. I think I got one message from you in the week you were in the same town as me.
I said
halfway across the country. When you're halfway across the country, you don't leave me the fuck alone. It's every day, every like 35 minutes, respond to me. You're literally a mile and a half from me, and you fucking don't talk to me.
I was busy, man.
You understand, man. It's the holidays. Shit's going on. I won't lie to you, though. All last week, it's all a blur. Like, it just went by so fast. So I completely understand. It was this time of the year, man. It's nuts.
It was one of those things where I flew up there expecting the worst. Honestly didn't want to go up there. No reason for me to be up there right now during the winter. I walked off the plane.
You're so fucking soft, dude. That's the reason why you don't want to be up here. It's because of the weather. Just so, like no reason. It's because of the weather. That's like, don't try and short yourself here and make it sound cool. You're like tough, like, it's just, I don't need to be up there. I've seen the family recently. No, it's the weather you're scared of. I
would lie. I haven't seen the family in like 2 years. I would lie if
I know you haven't. That's another thing. That's why I know it's the weather. Like, you want to start a tradition of celebrating Christmas in July. You're like, I'll come up there when it's 100 for you guys. Actually, no, that's miserable too. Shoot for like November, October.
So I walk off the plane when we land. I was actually kind of sketched out when we landed because I think it was like negative 15 or 17 or something when we were landing.
Yeah, I got warm.
So
it was warm last Sunday.
I was worried that the landing was going to be a little bumpy, and maybe we'd slide a little bit. There might be some black ice or something out there on the fucking landing strip.
Did you?
But it wasn't.
Oh
no, we got off the plane.
Consummate professionals.
I walked out the plane into that fucking tunnel thing, and there was snow. There was snow in there, and I was like, "Fuck me."
You haven't seen that shit in like 2 years. You were fucking over it. I can.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Brett picked us up at the airport, my brother. We drove to his house, got to his house. Really wasn't windy. It's like negative 15 out, negative 17, whatever. But there was like no wind in the area we were at.
It was beautiful.
So I was like, you know what? I expected it to be worse.
Yeah, with the no wind, that's nice. No wind and negative 15, I can handle that. It's the wind that'll get you, man.
So then I flew in on Christmas Eve. So I go with my parents to go pick up my grandma at her assisted living place. We stop at Bottle Barn on Veterans Boulevard, I believe, down south. And that's a very wide open area. We get out of the car there. Wind smacks me right in the face.
Oh, God.
I was like, oh, fuck this.
Chestnuts, literally, you know why they call them chestnuts? Because your nuts go to your chest. That's how fucking windy and cold that bitch is.
So, yeah. Gonna keep with the old North Dakota, Minnesota term or saying, it wouldn't be that bad if it wasn't for the wind. It's true.
Dude, it definitely is. It definitely is. Middle of winter, negative, whatever. The temperature won't kill you; it's the wind that'll kill you. So, yeah. Did you enjoy your week up here? Other than as long as you stayed out of the wind.
I did. I did. Saw a ton of family that I haven't seen in a very long time. Um, yeah, enjoyed myself. I'm feeling a little off now. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like a little seasonal depression or something. I don't know. From the overcast that you guys had up there, the gray skies and wind and white fucking everywhere. I don't know what it is. I'm feeling a little off right now. Hopefully I could get through that here within the coming days.
You've gone so soft right now. Just like I get it. I'm in it most winters, but it's life at this point. I don't get to go back down to the 60 and sunny. Though I did see on the forecast that it was snowing just south of Flagstaff, and my brain instantly went into, holy shit, half of Arizona has snow. I know Flagstaff are up there in the mountains, but like Phoenix, gotta be close.
But Phoenix is down in the valley. We'll get snow before Phoenix does.
Oh, I suppose you guys are higher up, aren't you?
Yeah.
If Phoenix gets snow, the fucking world has ended, is what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. It will. I mean, it will snow out here, but it will snow in the mountains. It actually won't come down here.
Yeah. Where me and you try to drive up the mountain in a fucking monsoon.
Yeah. Fuck. So what about you? How you been doing? How was your holiday?
No, working, man. I worked a lot, like every day, pretty much. I don't think I really had a day off. I had Christmas Day off, which is like the first time in a long time I've had Christmas Day off. But yeah, no, not a whole lot.
It was a Sunday. You traditionally don't work on Sundays.
I know that's kind of my day not to work. It's one of the few days I don't work is Sundays. You're not wrong. I used to have a job just specifically the only day I worked a year was Christmas, just so I could work on Christmas. I don't have that job anymore though.
I was going to text you at some point too on Christmas and be like, "Hey, you want to go to that movie?"
Yeah, no, I did go catch a movie. I went to Babylon. Another buddy of mine, because you came in on Saturday. It stormed on Monday or on Friday. On Friday night it stormed, and it kind of was storming north of us. And my buddy lives up north of, like 4 hours north up by the Canadian border, and he did not get to go home for Christmas to see his parents. So he was bugging me all Christmas. He was like, "You want to?" He texted me. He's like, "You want to go get lunch?" I was like, "I don't think any place is open on Christmas Day, bud." But I was like,
Taco John's was.
Was it really?
It was.
Shut the fuck up. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I feel bad for those workers. But I was like, all right. I was like, no. And then all of a sudden later, he wanted to go get food, or I asked him if he wanted to go to a movie. He goes, sure. But he'd already seen like Avatar. You mentioned me, he didn't want to sit for a 3-hour movie in Avatar, and he'd already seen Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and I was like, well, the only other one that was on in the theaters that I was interested in was like Babylon. It's based on 1920s Hollywood, essentially following around some characters. It's got Margot Robbie and Brad Pitt, and I was like, let's go to that. And he goes, sure. So we asked a couple other people if they wanted to go, and everyone basically watched trailer. Went absolutely not. Luckily, my buddy did not watch trailer. I didn't even watch trailer. I just knew it had some stars in it, and I like to watch, shitty movies, so I was cool with it. This movie was 3 hours. And there was people in the theater that were talking the entire time, so it made it very fucking unenjoyable to sit there in my reclining full chair trying to take a nap, eating popcorn. It was funny, but it was a fucked up movie too. It really made you think. I didn't want to think on Christmas Day.
No, normally you don't.
Nope. So yeah, it was pretty boring, man. Pretty fucking boring.
Oh, well, lucky I didn't get roped into that. I went over to my other brothers, my middle brothers, for Christmas Day. I was told we were eating at 12:30.
4:45?
4:30.
Nailed it.
That's what happens when you get kids involved and people need naps.
Yeah, because the kids get priority. And so if they're napping, they'll be up in like 2 hours, we'll eat then. Fuck that, I will eat now. They can eat when they wake up.
That's how I felt. Well, the thing is one of my nieces, her birthday actually is on Christmas.
Oh, that's terrible. I feel so bad
So
for
it was
her.
celebrating her birthday, and but the thing is last year they decided that they were going to celebrate her birthday on her half birthday instead of actually Christmas, so she could have a secluded day.
I know which brother this is, and I'm not surprised, but absolutely not.
But here's the thing. They're still celebrating it both days.
I know. Like I said, I know which brother it is, and that's why absolutely not. Like, it sucks for the child because they're technically only getting one hit of present. That's why they're doing the half birthday. But at
Yeah.
the same time, no. Because now you're literally gonna have the most entitled little shit you've ever met. Because you said it's a niece, so it's a little girl. This little girl is gonna grow up thinking I get presents on my half birthday, and we've seen the movies where the girl that goes like, "It's my birthday month."
I hate that. I know people like that. It's awful.
That's your niece now. Congratulations. I don't wish that on a child, but that's what your child's gonna. That's what your niece is gonna turn into.
I don't wish that on anybody.
Dude, I know. I hate to be that guy.
When I was in college, the chick across the hall, she celebrated the birthday month. I thought it was a joke. I've heard of weeks, which I think is outrageous. No, she celebrated the entire month.
I think the whole day is a little aggressive. Okay, like let's relax. Like, it doesn't need to be a whole day. Like a meal, you're good. Pack it up, move along. Okay. Shit.
Where do you start it though? Like say your birthday's like February 2nd. Is the entire month of February you still celebrate as your birthday? Or how do you do that?
Well, you're going to go 31 days. Okay, so you go 15 days before, 15 days after. Come on now. This is logical explanations.
I thought they were actually using months. Silly
and,
me.
And at the same time, they might. So then if you're February 2nd, you might just claim all of January and all of February.
Because you can.
Like, where's the fucking stop then? Well, you might as well just take all of winter. Why don't we throw in November and December in there too? You already got the fucking other two.
Yeah.
And then
believe me,
technically,
I put my foot down. I did not buy anything for the half birthday.
technically March over half of it's classified as winter. Better throw that to them too. And they might as well just take the rest of March because it's only like 8 more fucking days. Where's it stop, man? Where does it stop?
Pretty soon you're just celebrating every day. 365.
That's
Why
what I
not?
do. That's the way I live my life, though. So, like, I'm okay with that.
Carpe diem, baby.
Carpe noctua.
I have no clue what that means.
Seize the night. I think I fucking have no idea.
I think you might have just made that up.
Carpe noctem. Apologize.
Oh, you were so close.
I only know just a little bit of Latin. All right. So we both had I had a very uneventful Christmas holiday break. It was just, I worked a lot, and yeah, a lot of people I know coworkers were off, and because of that, I had to pick up the slack, do some mindless work, and it just took everything out of me, to stay present. So yeah, and then you were obviously super busy. I honestly kind of figured you were going to be very, very busy because you haven't been up in so long that you were going to have to literally catch up with every single. I honestly thought maybe one night you'd be able to sneak off, but I suppose those are the times when then you got to actually hang out with your like brothers and chill like that because they're always with the kids. I didn't fully think that one through, but like I said, I completely understand, bro. You gotta take care of that.
Gotta wait till those kids go to bed.
Yeah, and then you still gotta hang out with your brothers because They are your brothers. But let's start with this Thursday night football. What do you think about that?
Yeah,
Does that get you going? Are you ready to go now? Are you ready to
It
go?
does. Because I watched the first half of this game in the airport and then didn't see the second half.
Brother. Okay. Oh, did you fly out Thursday night?
Yeah.
Oh. You know when I figured out there was a game on Thursday night? Yesterday, while I was sitting in the scale house at work, it dawned on me that it was Saturday and that they probably played a game on Thursday. And I was like, interesting. And actually, I've seen a bunch of memes about Dak Prescott having as many interceptions as a guy will mention later and playing in 5 fewer games. And I was like, oh, he must have had a shit day. So then I looked up who played on Thursday. He did in fact play. It was the Cowboys, and they played the Tennessee Titans. I have no idea what the lines were because, as we said, we never talked during the week about this game or made a pick or anything.
I don't know what the over-under was. I believe the spread was 13.5.
For the boys,
Yeah.
that makes sense. They did cover then because the score was 27-13 Cowboys.
Yeah, because I was thinking about it. Well, I couldn't bet up in North Dakota anyway, but I was thinking about it when I saw the final score. I was like, it was like 13.5. I was like, okay, they did do it. Those sons of bitches. And they weren't playing that great in the first half. Actually, for Tennessee, Ryan Tannehill's out for the year. They decided Malik Willis isn't ready, which we all kind of knew. So Josh Dobbs made the start, the third
That's
stringer.
why his parents were fucking memes too. I was
So
wondering.
Josh Dobbs made the start, and Vrabel decided that they were going to bench a lot of players to get healthy for the Week 18 matchup against the Jaguars to decide the division. So it's pretty much Tennessee's scout team out here against the Dallas Cowboys. And what you know, Dak still threw 2 interceptions.
Oh, worth every penny, right? He's worth every fucking penny.
Do you trust the Cowboys come playoff time? Because we saw them on Christmas Eve as well against Gardner Minshew, who's the backup for the Eagles, and that game became a shootout, and they barely won that as well.
Here's the thing, I don't. You know, you call him a backup. Gardner Minshew is a top 15 quarterback in the NFL. I believe it. Man's goated. Nobody pulls off a bandana and mullet like that man. Style-wise, the man's number one. He's a Hall of Famer. Might as well just give him the golden jacket now. But yeah, he's had some bumps and bruises, but he played very well. I think that definitely shows that he's still got a little gunslinger in him. He can still get her done.
Yeah, he has. He threw 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. So yeah, there's definitely a gunslinger there.
Hey man, those interceptions weren't entirely his fault. That's not neither here nor there, but yeah.
So, leading into this game,
Yeah,
they covered the spread. They won by 2 touchdowns, but you kind of expected a little more.
you expected a 40 burger on a scout. Well, yeah, I mean Tennessee's been out with like 8 of their starting defensive players for over half the year now, and the fact that they still held this high-powered Cowboys offense at 27, it's a little embarrassing for the Cowboys.
This Cowboys team, they remind me of a team that they play to their competition. So like when they played the Vikings and it was 2 good records, they dropped a 40 burger on the Vikings. But then they have no reason to get up for this game, so they quintessentially lay an egg. They cover the spread, but it wasn't a good game by any stretch of the imagination. Or against the Jacksonville Jaguars just a couple weeks ago, lost in overtime. Didn't get up for that one.
Yeah, yep. They sleep on teams, and yeah, it's a locker room issue. Your leaders aren't getting it done.
Who's the leader in here?
Jerry's got to
Mike
find
McCarthy?
himself a leader. He's a leader. Jerry's got to find one of them because they don't have one at the moment. Maybe it's their $160 million man. I don't know.
Jerry's got to put a little more salt in that fucking egg McMuffin.
I'm good. I'm good. Yuck. Okay.
But yeah, no, Cowboys got the W. I think they technically are still in it for the division.
No, I think they had to win out, didn't they?
Well, they did win this game, and then
Oh yeah, fuck am I thinking? Yes, they're still in it. But they need the Eagles to lose
lose out.
one more because there's still a game behind them. But the Eagles haven't played yet this week. So the Eagles play the Saints, which is obviously it's noon right now because we jumped on a little late. New Year's Eve, I stayed up a little past my bedtime. You know, I watched a ball drop and I slept till like 10:30. So, you know, typical thing me.
Isn't that ridiculous? You could say a ball drop because there's several. There's several ball drops. There's several New Year's shows.
Yeah, because every time zone gets their own ball drop. So yeah, when the ball dropped in your time zone, out in, you know, whatever. I think you guys probably watched the LA show. I think that was the correlation to you. No,
I didn't stay up.
no. You guys would be Mountain West time because you don't have daylight savings. So you would be what, Denver?
Yeah.
Is Denver the major city in the mountain region? I don't know. I actually don't even know if. So I know, obviously, New York has the East Coast. I think Chicago is what we kind of base ours off of in the Midwest, and then LA is the West. I don't know. Does Denver do one? I don't know if Chicago really does a crazy one.
Is Chicago in Central Time Zone?
Yes. Stop it.
I was just because Ohio's in the East Coast.
Yeah, it runs through Indiana.
Okay. I'm sorry, I don't exactly know the map of the time zones. Shame on me. I'll do better next time.
Yeah, because Tennessee's technically, like Nashville, I'm pretty sure is central, which is fucking wild. Because it's like very much seems on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why like the Predators being in the Central makes sense because they're in the Central time zone. Like that's their justification for that team playing in the Central.
What about the Memphis Grizzlies playing in the Western Conference?
Well, that's just because the West doesn't have a lot of basketball teams, and there's a lot in the upper Midwest, in the New England area, the colonies, as I like to call them, part of the country, the northeastern part of the country.
Did I ever tell you? Now that we brought this up, no, did I ever tell you when the lady that picked me up at the airport in Colorado Springs to Uber me to my hotel? She said she was from New England. And I said, okay, so the Boston area. And she goes, no, Boston's not really a part of New England. And I was like, oh. And then she like listed the states that technically form New England.
Okay. Well, Massachusetts, which is what Boston is in, it's actually the capital of Boston, fun fact, is very much in the New England region. Because the only states north of it are New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, and if you dare put those three and try and claim Rhode Island and Connecticut, you fucking better be claiming Massachusetts, because otherwise you're just fucking jumping a goddamn state to get to it. Because you're not claiming New York. Okay, I'll give you that. I will give you you're not claiming New York. But this dumb bitch.
Or Pennsylvania.
No, yeah, well, that's fucking out of the question. Stop it. But this dumb bitch clearly doesn't just understand it. I mean, like, you could claim New York, but I wouldn't. New York wants to be themselves. But the New England region, what I'm assuming would be Connecticut, Rhode Island, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, and Massachusetts. It makes a glove.
Maryland?
No. Why are you going further south? Maryland?
Virginia?
I mean, I wouldn't claim Delaware and New Jersey, but is this what this
Jersey?
This dumb lady is claiming? I don't understand it. It's just, or does she want? Oh, Massachusetts is too big for us now. They want to be by themselves. We're the small, or is she trying to say it's like Connecticut, Rhode Island, Delaware, and New Hampshire is technically the New England area? But I'm almost positive I would put like Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine as New England. But they're just rural England, very rural countrysides.
That's what she said. She did not want Boston in there.
She
was like insulted that I said that.
I don't think she understands that Boston's in Massachusetts, which Massachusetts is technically part of it. You could say that maybe that city's not. They don't claim that city, but they claim the state of Massachusetts. Well, that just doesn't know how that works. Okay.
All right. Let's get into some college football playoffs, though. Shall we? As we did.
Boy.
As we did not pick these games either.
I watched these.
I watched these as well.
But I did give you an update on my picks, okay? I do. I'm going to preface my saying with that, okay? So when I start talking shit here, just know that I have a little bit of a foot to stand on because I did know the outcome of this before the game started. All right? I nailed these. Nailed them.
The way you said that, it was like college football's rigged.
No, I just have an acute sense of what's happening. I have my finger on the pulse of college football. Let's put it that way.
All right. Let's start with the Verbo Fiesta Bowl, though, shall we?
I don't
Out
like
in my
that
neck of
this
the
is
woods.
no longer Tostitos. Okay, I just want to point that out. It bothers me that this is no longer the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl.
Actually, I think the last few years it's been the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah, okay. I'm just telling you, this still bothers me that this is not the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl.
We have the number 3 TCU Horned Frogs versus the number 2 Michigan Wolverines. Michigan was a 7.5 point favorite in this game.
Coming into this game, did you just think Michigan? No doubt.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Okay. And I was with you, buddy. I was with you 100% until I watched the opening sequence of the game. After the pre-show, they showed Michigan running on the field, and something caught my eye. Something caught my eye, my friend.
I noticed it too.
Jim Harbaugh was wearing blue slacks. Where were the khakis? Oh no. Pandemonium's among us. I freaked out. I texted the boys. I was like, boys, TCU by 100. I was like, Jimmy Harbaugh, he doesn't got his khakis. What are we going to do? So I went on a limb.
Wife might have thrown him away.
Oh, my God. So I went on a limb, and I just threw out my pick right then and there. TCU by 100. And it wasn't a bad shout. It wasn't a bad shout.
It wasn't quite by 100, but
they almost scored 100 combined. And that's I'm picking at straws right now.
TCU ended up winning the game 51-45. No overtime needed.
Yeah, see, 96. That's close to 100.
Yeah, this was, going into this game, I was right there with you. I thought Michigan, no doubt. I did notice that he wasn't wearing the khakis. Normally you see that when it's really cold and they're playing outdoors at the big house. You'll see that occasionally. But in this situation, pal, you are in Arizona. You could be out there in shorts for all I care, as long as they're khaki shorts.
Absolutely.
Last year, I think he rocked a polo. He was all out there today like he was outdoors. Or yesterday like he was outdoors. He had the navy blue slacks on, he had a navy blue sweatshirt on, and a navy blue hat on. It's like, Jesus Christ, you look like Grimace. Good reference. That was a good reference.
It was
No, this game though, just right off the bat, Donovan Edwards had that huge run.
Oh, I felt like an idiot. Yeah, that wasn't the first play of the game, but his first touch of the game, he broke out.
About 50 yards.
53
Got
or
stopped.
something like that.
And then you just felt, okay, well, this is how this game's going to go. Somehow TCU was able to stop, the Wolverines with. I don't even know if I could say TCU stopped them. I just think it was one of the dumbest play calls I've ever seen.
Hey, why do you run Philly special there on your own 6?
Yeah, because the thing was, You sit there, you're listening to Blackledge talk about it. Blackledge is like, you absolutely go for it here on fourth down. He's like, you have a rock solid defense. You get him on the 2. Worst case scenario, you don't get it. You get him at least on the 2.
Yeah. And they
They do
ran.
the Philly special. Guy gets tackled like 15 yards back. That was the worst case scenario.
Yeah, that was bad. That was they because now they're no longer backed up on their own goal line. They have lots of room. They can maneuver. They can run the offense they want to run. It's basically like they got a touchback on a punt. They're sitting good. No big deal.
So you get that. You add in the catch where I don't know where you sat on it, where Wilson's ass was down, but might have been on the half-yard line, but he didn't have complete control of the ball. A lot of people were saying it should have been a touchdown. They called it down at the half-yard line. Then the fumbled exchange happened. Michigan loses the ball there.
This was just a lot of bad breaks for Michigan. That's I mean,
2 pick sixes J.J. McCarthy threw.
that first one he threw the ball so late. Like Bell makes his break and then he makes a break, takes 3 steps, and then the ball comes out. You're throwing opposite sideline on an out route. You almost need to throw that ball before his foot before he makes his cut, because that corner. The thing is, they run a 3-3-5, which is why this is why J.J. McCarthy even came on and said they run a 3-3-5. We're going to run the ball down their fucking throats, because they're running a front 6 of linebackers and defensive linemen. And they were just basically blitzing guys and stunting up front to create havoc, to disrupt the running game. And it worked. It really did work. But they're dropping basically in the nickel defense the entire time. So the corners are dropping back, and they're just picking their stops, opportunities to make runs on passes. And that was obviously a clear one. That corner was running bump and run coverage and just put his foot in the ground, fucking took off after the ball because he knew he had safety help over the top and took it to the house. Yeah, Ronnie Bell, it almost feels like, didn't fight for that ball. He was kind of running away from the ball instead of back towards the ball. I mean, it is a deep throw or a long throw for JJ, but he threw that way late. And then there almost should have been blocking the back on that pick 6 too, though, because the safety that was backing up the play came up and just wrecked Ronnie Bell's day. And I was like, why would you touch him there? Because you were clearly behind him, but they didn't throw the flag, so didn't matter, I guess. But it was interesting. That was a great read by that corner, jumping that route. Just a bad play by JJ.
And Michigan, their identity the entire season has been the ground and pound. They play great defense. They run the football. They control the game. Their offensive line just overpowers people. And it kind of seems like everything that got them there, they threw out the window.
Yeah.
Immediately, even before they were behind, with the Philly special play. From that point on, it was gone.
Like I said, the khakis, man, he wasn't feeling himself. So it was definitely an interesting called game. It was very weird. It was I was not impressed with Michigan at all in this game. It definitely felt like TCU played their fucking hearts out. They played very well, but it definitely it was feeling like during that game Michigan lost that game. As you saw, they came back, made it close, because they were down pretty big. I think it was like 21, 28-6 at half, something like that.
Or was it 21-3? No, 21-6 at half. 21-6. It was 21-3. Then Michigan kicked that field goal. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there was like a pick 6 that should have been a touchdown, but they called them down. And there was, as you mentioned, that big, like I said, just about a bunch of bad breaks for Michigan, and the review under the tent, and then but also, they just weren't fully executing. So it sucks, man. But I don't know why you're not wearing khakis. Jim, talk to us.
You know what my favorite thing is? You get all those things that fuck them during the game, and everyone's going to point to 2 things. They're going to point to Jim in the weird situation of the timeouts towards the end of the game, where even his dad stood up, and they're going to point to the targeting that wasn't called at the very end.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, huh? Because I saw that play. I was watching on my phone at that. I was at a buddy's place, for New Year's, and they didn't have it on the TV because the young children were obviously watching their cartoons. So I was watching it on my phone, and it was I was like, I watched the play happen. I was like, well, that looked like targeting, and then all of a sudden they like went to commercial break, came back. Okay, it's being reviewed, and I was like, okay, I did see what I thought I saw. And they showed the replay, and I was like, yup, dropped the head, hit him right in the back of the helmet. Pretty fucking. I think he did get shoulder pad, but it's hitting the head area of a defenseless receiver.
And leading with the
And
crown.
leading with your crown. He didn't hit with his helmet, but he did lead with his crown, and he did make contact with the helmet with a shoulder. So to me it was this year they've just been so fucking inconsistent. The officiating, I don't know what it is, but this year I feel like this is the worst officiating I've ever seen in all aspects of football, pro and college. And it just makes me wonder if I don't know the rules or if they're all just fucking idiots. I'm really just don't know at this point. I could just not know football anymore.
There was the moment, not in this game, but in the Sugar Bowl before it with Alabama, Kansas State, where literally, I can't remember what happened, but the officials had to like come together and then they had to stop the game to figure out whether or not it was a loss of down. Like they didn't know the rule on it.
Yeah.
How does
Like I said,
when you got Nick Saban standing over there, you think that's acceptable?
no, like that's the thing. Like that's why things like that make the worst officiated season of all fucking football. And it's just like, and it makes me wonder, do I just not know football like I used to? Like even during the was it the Michigan? There was the Michigan game. They threw a penalty flag, and they threw a flag, and they go, not all 11 guys were set. And I'm like, I looked at my dad, and I was like, all 11 guys don't need to be set. A guy can be in motion. And he's like, well, technically they need to be set before the ball is snapped or before they go in motion. I was like, okay, but that's not what he said. I was like, he did a very piss poor job of explaining what the penalty was. Like, you can't just say not all 11 guys were set because that's technically not illegal. It's not all guys got set before the ball was snapped, which you would just call illegal procedure. I think that's the penalty, but that's not what he called. It was just he like tried to explain what he saw. It's like they gave them power, or they wanted them to start explaining what they were calling, and they just don't fucking know the rules. If they could just call it what it's supposed to be called and end it, but they're trying to get the common fan into it, and it just makes the fans that actually know what the fuck's going on in football go, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you're dumbing this down too much. Because now people are going to think, oh, everybody needs to be set. Then he can't be in motion when the ball's snapped because he wasn't set. Well, no, you can have one guy in motion, but like there's two guys in motion. Yes, you're right. That's illegal. But not everyone was set before the ball was snapped. Okay, that's what that happened. Not 11 guys weren't set. Well, not 11 guys need to be set to snap the ball. I'm being nitpicky here, but it's just that's the type of shit that just it's like those are the ones where I go, do you even know football, official? Which they probably do. They know it way more than me, but just annoying.
We got another game to talk about here too, as we have the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. This was your late game of the evening.
Oof.
Where number 4 Ohio State took on number 1 Georgia. Now, did you have a pick in this game before this one happened too?
No, boys. I mean, come on. Who have I been behind all year? Who are my dogs? He's a dog. I've been with Georgia all year. I never faltered from that. Georgia, as I've been saying all year long, the best team in the country. Obviously, I was going to pick Georgia, no matter what. Nothing could have changed my mind. But once the game started, I was in trouble. I was in trouble. I know you mentioned when we mentioned this matchup after they made the decision, you said Ohio State is playing for themselves. Like they want to prove that they should have been, they belong here. Michigan was a fluke. They are a top 4 team in the country, and they showed that. They came out bald. They got off to a
Oh yeah, it might have been the best game I've ever seen C.J. Stroud play.
They came out gangbusters, and they were up big on Michigan. They were up big. 14, was it 14 or 17, something like that? Maybe that was the TCU
Yeah.
game that they were up. TCU was up.
It would see, they were up 14 going into the fourth. Georgia
Okay.
had to make a comeback.
Okay. So Stetson Bennett led the boys. The defense, laced up their boots a little bit tighter than they did in the first 3 quarters and came back, took the lead with like a minute and something left, and CJ Stroud went to work. I only really watched like the very end of the fourth quarter, so like I don't know what happened because I've missed this. As I said, we then had our little meal, played a little game, and then I was like, shit, forgot Georgia Ohio State. Who won that? Clicked it on. No, my boys are losing. Better watch this on my phone. And I watched the fourth quarter. So I missed the first half of this. I did not watch this game, except for the end.
It was funny because all over Twitter people were talking shit about Stetson Bennett, like, see, he's really not that guy. It's just this team, yada yada yada. He can't win a shootout with CJ Stroud, and he willed him back. You're absolutely right. It didn't help that Marvin Harrison Jr., who's just been spectacular this entire season, and they could not stop him in this game. He got just absolutely drilled on a play late in the third quarter. He got a concussion and was out for the game, so that sucked for Ohio State too. But you were up by 2 touchdowns. You have other pieces. You're a team full of 4 and 5 stars.
Mm-hmm.
Get it done.
Yeah, I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. coming into the year wasn't even your number 1 receiver. He showed he became their number 1 receiver. Next guy step up. That's what has to happen. And as you mentioned, they have a ton of 4 and 5 stars. You just need to be able to nickel and dime your way in the fourth quarter and claw out a win here. And they didn't get it done. Georgia's defense cinched up, stopped all things. It did come down to a last-second field goal attempt, though. CJ Stroud, as you mentioned, balled out in this game, had a huge 30, 40-yard run with under a minute to get them in field goal range. And then Georgia's defense batted down the hatches, gave up no more yards, almost got a sack and knocked them out of field goal range, but left 8 seconds on the clock. Send out the senior kicker, 2 for 2 on the day, booting it for the game. All eyes on him. The state of Ohio is behind this man,
LeBron James,
willing him to put it between the posts, and he missed.
it wasn't even close.
He shanked it.
It was like 50 Cent throwing out the first pitch.
It was bad. The pressure got to him. There's rumors the man now lives in Barbados. He goes by the name Manuel Mustafa, and he's no longer a kicker. Said he was a pitcher for Georgia. That's what I heard. I don't know. I could be wrong. That's what I heard. He didn't
in
get on
this
the team,
game.
right? He did not fly back with the team. They left him. He's on a stake somewhere because the fans just killed him right then and there. I guarantee that man has death threats. Like, it's disgusting that.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, for Christ's sake.
It's disgusting.
They spent yesterday morning, College Game Day, talking about whether Ryan Day's job is secure or not. Going into last night's game, he was 45-5 as a head coach.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That's a 90% clip.
It's ridiculous.
That's a 90% clip.
I know, it's ridiculous. But Ohio fans are fucking psychos, and the fact that I made the joke. Okay, I did. I definitely fell into it. But the fact that their fan base actually would go after this poor kid is fucking disgusting. And I know they are. Because you see it from other things for dumber things. You know what I mean? Fucking Kansas City went after their fucking punter. The Chiefs went after their fucking punter, their fan base, because he shanked it in the Super Bowl against the Bucks. Like, stop it. We need to just relax and understand that these are still fucking human beings. And yeah, they made a mistake. They didn't perform at 100%. Okay? How about I go to your fucking job and berate you for every fucking little mistake you make? Okay? Maybe it was the holder's fault. We don't know. Maybe it was a bad snap. You know?
Laces in.
Maybe, I don't know. Ray Finkel, man. We don't know what happened. Maybe the ball wasn't set exactly the way the kicker likes it before it was. Maybe the grounds crew didn't do a good job with the field. The grass was a little loose there. Your foot slipped. Maybe the athletic department didn't get the cleats the right length to make sure that foot doesn't slide. It sticks so the boot can come flying through and punch. We don't know. There are a lot of things that go into it. We can't blame that kid. Okay? I'm not here for that. I made the joke, so I had to make sure I went fully the other way.
Towards the end there, it sounded like you're kind of being sarcastic.
Oh, I'm not. I'm I just am naturally that way. I apologize. But no, this kid needs to I'm being serious. We don't know what caused it, and it's a thing. I didn't watch the replay. I just saw he missed it and went, "Holy shit, Georgia just pulled that off." And they took the knee, finished the game. But then literally my mind went to like Ohio State is gonna fucking kill this kid, and that's fucked up. So I need to make sure it's out there that's fucked up. That they are going after the kid.
Two things before we move on from here. Number one, Kirby Smart might have called the greatest timeout of all time as he sniffed out the fake punt attempt that Ohio State was doing and called a timeout right beforehand. Ohio State ran it, but had to come back, so then they couldn't run it again.
Kirby, man. Kirby's a baller. Kirby's a little...
he sniffed that thing right out.
A little bloodhound. He smelt that fucking... He's like, my spidey senses are tingling. Better knock this off before we get a little crazy.
And then that, and another thing is Ohio State probably played their best game of the year, and they still couldn't beat Georgia. In Georgia, this was far from their best game of the year. So that just kind of tells you how good this Georgia team is.
I have been saying all year, this is the best team in the country. My dogs. I'm telling you, I'm kind of pumped for TCU Georgia now, because TCU played a fucking game last night. They played a game, or it was yesterday afternoon. I'd call it last night. They played their hearts out. They played very fucking well. And I think if they bring that to Georgia, this will be a good one. It's going to be a good natty, boys. This going to be a good natty.
Yeah, let's take a look at that as we currently sit there, as well as Weber just said. Number 3, TCU versus number 1, Georgia. The early spread is Georgia minus 13.5. Damn near 2 touchdowns. Over under 62.
Here's the thing. When Georgia and TCU line up on the football, on the gridiron, you throw the records out the window. I was like, there's no hope bars here. This is just, you can't take past performances. I mean, Max Duggan willed the team to overtime in the Big 12 title game. So if you're looking at this, I mean, you give the quarterback edge to Max Duggan and TCU right here. But Georgia's defense, I mean, TCU doesn't have a bad defense, but that Georgia defense. They got a week. We'll see what happens, man. I'm pumped. Like, I think this is going to be a great fucking game. What do you think?
It's one of those things where CJ Stroud is not a runner, and he ran all over the place and extended plays against this Georgia defense. If they struggled to do that against CJ, Max Duggan could pick him apart. But I struggle seeing that happen. Then again, I've been down on TCU for a while. I talk a lot about them.
Then again, you didn't think they'd do that against Michigan's defense. And,
yeah, as I said, maybe I'll just keep being negative about them because I don't want Georgia to repeat.
Are we picking in this game? Are we picking?
Not yet.
Oh, we will, though.
We'll do that when the time comes.
Okay, good. I got to do
also,
some research.
Also, a little shout out to Sonny Dykes yesterday, going out there with the battle wound on the forehead. Apparently took a heads up from his 6-year-old son.
That was great. Yeah. On game day, they asked him what happened. Was he knocking heads with players with helmets on? He goes, "I got a 6-year-old. I'll leave it at that." Yeah, man, they're brutal. Kids will beat us up. We got to watch our backs on them. Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. Part of me sat back and went, "Sonny, you're old. What do you have a 6-year-old son?"
I don't think he's that old, is he? He's not like that old. He is. Oh, scroll. He's 53.
So when he was 47.
Yeah. He has a 15-year-old and a 6-year. No, because that kid's old. That kid's 12. I don't think his wiki's updated with a 6-year-old child. His wiki says he has 2 kids, a 15 and a 12-year-old.
Yeah, it's probably not updated.
Interesting.
I've seen his 6-year-old son too, because I did a piece on him, and he sleeps with a Max Duggan pillow.
Interesting. They do. 2 girls and a little boy. Okay. I'm not reading that article because I would feel creepy. It was about his wife and moving to TCU and raising 3 children. And it was,
Oh my God, what a move from Dallas to Fort Worth. Jesus.
Yeah, from SMU to TCU. Big move. Probably didn't even switch houses. Kept the same house. He's driving the extra 20 minutes. God, what a family man. What a family man. Can't uproot his children.
That extra 20 minutes, you know how much longer that takes out of his day? Do you know how many more nights he has to stay at the office because he can't make that jaunt home?
Here's the thing. I said he has a 15-year-old and a child born in 2011, which would make the child 11. We'll go 11 because technically, unless it was, born today, the kid would still be 11. God, I'm good at math. He's 53. That means his oldest child was born when he was 38. So he waited a little bit to start having kids. So that's the thing. His kids are all
Never a good decision.
His kids
Never
are all,
a good decision.
His kids are all close to the same age, but you're already an older father. Yeah, and he's in a profession where it's stressful, so it takes a lot of years off the life there. So yeah, wow, that's Well, we're going down a dark road. Let's go to the NFL news because we're going down a dark road.
Let's get some NFL news. Let's get some NFL news going. Big news this week as the Las Vegas Raiders bench quarterback Derek Carr in favor of Jarrett Stidham for the remainder of the season.
Makes sense. Stidham's a stud.
Carr won't even be at the facility these last 2 weeks. He'll be staying home because he doesn't want to be a quote-unquote team distraction.
I mean, I get what he's saying. Like, he's saying the right thing, but at the same time, you got to be there and help Jarrett prepare. Like, you got to be I don't know, unless they don't want him, unless Jarrett doesn't want him there. I don't know, man. It's interesting. I mean, Stidham knows McDaniel's offense, so it kind of makes a little bit of sense, but this is the quarterback I was saying that Dak Prescott is tied with in interceptions and has played 5 less games. So him getting benched and won't be there means his season is done at 14 interceptions, and Dak still has 2 games to go. 1 game to go.
And the Raiders are mathematically still alive for the playoffs.
This is the fucking wildest move in the world.
Well, from what I heard is there's a clause in Derek Carr's contract. If he were to get hurt here, he'd be guaranteed $33 million for next season. So they are benching him, so they don't have to pay him that $33 million. And I'm assuming both sides are going to move their separate ways this offseason.
So Derek Carr is going to Indy. Is that what you're telling me?
Indy, Washington, New York. Yeah, I have no clue.
Indy. It's Indy. The only question is Jim Irsay going to be able to trade for Devontae Adams as well?
Yeah, because Devontae was very vocal after this move was made and said, he's the reason I'm here. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. It's like, well, pal, you were technically traded. You didn't sign there as a free agent. But then again, he did sign the contract extension.
That's the thing, is he wouldn't have signed that extension if he didn't have Derek Carr. Because he wanted to go play with Derek Carr. He said that he very openly said that during the offseason, that he wanted to team up with Derek Carr again.
That's been a thing for years.
They were Fresno State teammates back in college, so it's I mean, Tay gives all the credit to Carr. He's like, I wouldn't have had the stats I had in college if it wasn't for Derek, but Derek wouldn't have the stats if he didn't have Tay. So like,
Yeah, it's common knowledge that in high school, Devontae Adams was the number 2 receiver on their football team to Jock Peterson. We all knew that. He actually was.
yes, but all that tells me is that they didn't have a quarterback that could throw the ball very far. That's all that tells me. Because there ain't no fucking way Jock Peterson's running a fucking fly route. Okay. Jock Peterson.
Joggers.
He's your prototypical Cole Beasley, Wes Welker, Julian Edelman. He's gonna run
Old jockstrap.
run a little dig route, 5-yard dig, catch the ball, and then just start running over fucking linebackers and safeties. That's what he's trying to do. I don't get it. I mean, like you said, it makes sense with the injury clause, but really, I guess, yeah. I suppose if you plan on moving on him at the end of the year, why risk detrimenting your fucking salary because the fucking team's broke?
Has this always been a fucking thing? Like I don't remember. I guess recently, at least, situations like the Matt Ryan thing happened, and they benched him because apparently he had guaranteed dollars tied to injury in his contract too. And now Derek Carr, we're seeing this twice in the same season from these teams. Do you recall this happening before? Maybe
No.
we just didn't know about it.
Well, it could have been. It was just poor play was also involved. Matt Ryan did have poor play, but I mean, Derek Carr hasn't been playing poorly, really. Like he's had his worst year, but at the same time, he's not the worst quarterback in the league. And Jarrett Stidham has done nothing in his NFL career to it's not like you have a young draft pick sitting there that potentially could take over. It's odd.
You know what? One of the funny things was I was listening to Sunday NFL Countdown on ESPN this morning. Teddy Bruschi, of course, he knows everything there is to know about the Patriots and Josh McDaniels and whatnot. And I guess one of the things McDaniels said was, we want to get a look at the young quarterback before the season's done so we can make a decision on him. And Teddy Bruschi's like, what are you talking? That's your guy. You know everything there is to know about Jarrett Stidham. You know if he could play or not. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's yep. He tried to use that excuse, and I called the bullshit before I even knew there was a bullshit flag to throw. Because yeah, he's what year did he get drafted? 2019. So this is his third year. He's been basically a quarterback for McDaniels for 3 years, because the first 2 years he was with him in New England, and then this year they went and got Bailey Zappi to be the backup, and obviously got shipped off Jarrett Stidham to the Raiders. So, yes, you know exactly who this kid is. Makes no sense to me.
All right, let's shift to the next piece of news, where the Denver Broncos fired Nathaniel Hackett, who was their head coach, after a 4-11 start to the season. Broncos are expected to be aggressive in their coaching search. Now, by aggressive, I think that means backing up the Brinks truck. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that means either.
But to be honest with you, if you're a head coach, because obviously they're going to want somebody with experience. I don't think they want to go the coordinator route again. I don't think they go get like a Kellen Mond or something. They want someone with head coaching experience. So that would probably be like a Sean Payton or a Jim Harbaugh or Dan Quinn maybe, was ties to him in Seattle. I don't know. But if you're any of those guys, do you honestly want to go there?
Do you think Dan Quinn wants to go be with Russ again?
Is Russ washed? That's another question I have. Can you fix him? Or is he just done? His body's done.
That's the thing. Do you blame this coach for Russ's performance, or is Russ to blame for this coach's performance?
I mean, didn't Nathaniel Hackett have flaws? Absolutely. They had to bring in a guy to help him control the clock, control the game.
Well, he was.
But
You said coordinator out. This man wasn't even a coordinator. He was a quarterback coach. He'd never been a coordinator. He'd never called plays. He was a quarterback coach, and they thought bringing him in would lure Aaron Rodgers from Green Bay because they thought this was Rodgers' guy. Like, let's call this what this was. This was an attempt to get Aaron Rodgers. When they didn't get him, they went and traded for Russell Wilson and said, well, we'll try and make this work. And it didn't. That's all the Broncos have done the last 10 years is try. Since Peyton left, since fucking Peyton won one. Peyton didn't win it. That defense won it. But it's literally just been trying to figure out the quarterback position and any coach they can to just make a quarterback work. And it hasn't worked.
yeah, they brought in the veterans and worked with Peyton. They worked with, it didn't work, but they brought in Joe Flacco there for a little bit at the tail end. He's still going, but I'm gonna say the tail end of his career because they're not allowing him to start out in New York right now. There's a reason behind that. And then now they try to do it with Russell Wilson.
The NFL,
and
the NFL can't handle Joe Flacco. Like that's the issue. The Raiders are still trying to get some draft picks. If you just threw Flacco out there right now, they'd probably be undefeated. And they can't allow that to happen.
And then, of course, now you got the Russell Wilson situation. They gave him $250 million. You can't get rid of him.
Yeah, you owe him way too much money. But they do have a very rich owner, so they can definitely pay some money.
It's one of those things, though, where because of the cap hit it's going to cause, you can't just pay for him to go away. This isn't baseball.
No, I get what you're saying. I understand, yes, that you can move money, though, to other parts, and it becomes, you know what I mean? Like, signing bonuses, I don't think entirely affect the cap, or just a percentage does. You can move money around where it doesn't affect the cap, and the guy still gets his cash. There are ways to manipulate the salary cap.
But the player has to be in agreement with that.
Yeah. And there's...
And Russ is in the mindset that there's nothing wrong.
Oh, yeah, Russ is cooking. What are you talking about? Russ is balling out. His teammates aren't helping him. He needs a better team around him. This team that last year had a pretty good defense, and a lot of those guys are still back, and yeah, they were better with Drew Lock. Like, let's just call it what it was. They lost a tight end and gained a quarterback, and they lost their quarterback and tight end and gained a quarterback that's much better than their quarterback, and they're worse. Is Noah Fant worth 3 wins? Is that what I'm being told?
Yeah.
Damn.
Obviously.
I mean, I knew Iowa tight ends were good, but Jesus.
And he wasn't even the first one taken in that draft.
But he was the more highly touted one, wasn't he? He was the more.
I think he was.
He was the more complete because he blocks actually. I think he's the more complete tight end, but TJ's just a better receiver.
You're saying Teach isn't a blocker?
That's exactly what I said. I'm fairly certain I said TJ doesn't. Oh, I didn't. I guess I did not technically say that. I said Noah's a better blocker. TJ Hawkinson can't fucking block. Okay, he can get in the way, but he cannot fucking block. Irv Smith Jr. Who else is there? Kyle Pitts. Let's see, who else can I fucking insult here? I can't think of a lanky tight end. Why can't I think of a... I mean, if you want to go back in the day, Tony Gonzalez. Antonio Gates.
Jimmy Graham?
Kind of. Jimmy Graham definitely couldn't fucking block a soul. He's throwing lookout blocks all fucking day.
Mike Gesicki?
Mike Gesicki. Colton Met. All the Saints tight ends. Just Troutman.
Owen Daniels?
Owen Daniels could block. What the fuck are you talking about? That's all that man could do. That man couldn't catch.
Jimmy Kleinstosser?
He was the Jack Conklin. What are you talking about? Yeah, Jimmy Kleinstosser.
They weren't allowed to throw passes to that man.
To Jimmy Kleinstosser. Oh my god. Okay.
Martellus Bennett.
Okay. Stop it. Marty B, the black unicorn, might have been the epitome of playing, was a great run blocker and was a dynamic receiver. Okay. I love me some Marty B. I won't take his slander.
Okay.
Yeah, giggle your little ass off. Let's do the 5 dubs. Didn't write
Vernon Davis.
Vernon can't block. We'll call that what it was.
Julius Thomas.
He couldn't block. What's the other dude that went to Tennessee? Delaney Walker couldn't really block. I said it. Okay, I've insulted enough people.
Jonnu Smith.
Johnny Smith can block.
Hunter Henry.
When he's not hurt.
All right, let's get to the 5 dubs though. Week 17 edition. I have not looked at any scores so far, so we're sitting pretty still. Let's start off though. We have the Miami Dolphins at the New England Patriots money line. Miami plus 122. New England minus 145. Spread. New England minus 2.5. Over under 41.
I suppose I'm going first, right? Because I always go first.
Yes, so there's going to be no 2 on this game. It's going to be Teddy Bridgewater starting for the Dolphins.
So that means New England minus 2.5. 41. Do I think New England can score 30 points? I am going to go with no. So I'll go under.
I'm going to go under 41 as well. And I'm going to go New England minus 2.5 as well, too. I'm going to stick with you on that one there, pal.
Wow. You're fucking dumb.
Okay, next one. Carolina Panthers at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Moneyline, Carolina plus 162. Tampa minus 195. Spread, Tampa minus 3.5. Over under 40.5. I'll go on this one. I'm going to go Carolina plus 3.5 and under 40.5.
I agree on the under. Carolina just had a big win last week. That's a shout. I'll agree with you. I'll go Carolina. Or you said plus 3.5?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Well, I'm going
Money line?
money line.
You going straight money line? Ooh, wee.
I'll go Carolina money line and the under.
All right, we got the next one. The New York Jets at the Seattle Seahawks. Money line. Jets minus 125. Seattle plus 105. Spread. Jets minus 1.5. Over under 42.5. I believe Mike White is starting this game.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Well, they're still not going to score 42.5 points combined. So I'm going with the under. Good God. You know what? We're going Seattle money line. Fuck it. I don't even care. They've played like absolute dog shit the last couple weeks. Holy. Maybe I don't want to do that. I don't know. I will go with the money line still. I don't know why. I think the Jets will win this game. Oh no, the Jets are playing for the playoffs, aren't they? Let's go Jets minus 1.5 because they actually have. No, they're gonna fuck it up. We'll go Seattle money line. We'll go money line. I'm going money line. Final answer. No pick, so I don't fucking can't flip flop.
All right, Jets minus 1.5. Over 42.5.
You're going over?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. What do you know about this game that I don't know about?
I don't know anything you don't know about.
Okay.
We have the Minnesota
You would
Vikings
set
at the
this
Green
up.
Bay Packers.
You would set this up. I love it. Let's go.
Minnesota Vikings at the Green Bay Packers. Money line. Minnesota plus 143. Green Bay minus 170. Spread. Green Bay minus 3. Over under 47.5. I'm going to go Vikings money line. And over 47.5. because the Vikings defense fucking sucks.
Christian Watson's going to have himself a day against this secondary that likes to lead with their helmets and play dirty and be terrible. So I agree with you, the over. But I'm also going to go money line because Jair Alexander's been talking a lot of shit, and Justin Jefferson's probably going to drop 300 yards himself. So
He needs 209 to beat Kelvin Johnson.
Yep. I'm still going to go with, I'm going Minnesota money line as well, and the over. I think both defenses are going to be a fucking sieve and give up a lot of passing yards this game.
Even in the cold weather.
I mean, I hope Green Bay wins, but I can't let you gain a fucking point on me here.
All right, let's go to the next game. The Pittsburgh Steelers at the Baltimore Ravens. You get the money line, Pittsburgh plus 115, Baltimore minus 135. Spread, Baltimore minus 2, over under 35. Holy shit.
It's because they're both offenses suck. Well, is Huntley even fucking playing?
Huntley's going to play, yeah. It's Huntley versus Kenny Pickett.
God. Kenny's playing better, so let's go Pitt money line. Fuck it. Over under 35. Let's go under. I think this is going to be a bad game. Huntley's played well. Huntley has played well, but Kenny Pickett is getting the boys rolling. I think they're starting to buy in a little bit more. So we'll go Pittsburgh money line and the under.
We're agreeing on too many of these. Got to get Mike Tomlin to over 500. Pittsburgh money line and under 35.
Oh boy.
Okay, now we got Monday Night Football though, for the weekly double. And this is actually probably the best Monday Night Football game of the year. I'm actually kind of really interested in who you pick in this one. Buffalo Bills at the Cincinnati Bengals. You get the money line Buffalo minus 120, Cincinnati plus 100. Spread, Buffalo's favored by 1, over under 49.5.
But you get to pick first.
I guess I get to pick first. You are right.
You don't get to say what I have to say until you pick.
So both these teams are fighting for home field advantage throughout the playoffs and the first round bye. God damn it. The Bengals have been playing so good lately, but I'm going to go Bills minus 1 and over 49.5.
Well, they're both going to score a lot of points, so I agree with you. The over is definitely in play here. But you're going to give me a free money line pick at fucking, instead of going plus 1, so I'll take it. Fuck the point. I'm going to go Cincinnati money line here. It's in Cincinnati. They have the home field advantage. They've been playing really well. Buffalo, they've been playing in cold weather, so obviously their games have been closer than expected, but they haven't played great ball. I haven't been super impressed the last couple weeks with them. They've made a lot of mistakes, where Cincinnati has exceeded all expectations that I had for this season. So we're just going to roll the hot hand here and go with Joe Burrow and the boys in the orange.
Tre'Davious White, Jamar Chase. It's going to be a good matchup.
It's
Two LSU boys.
Yeah. There's still T. Higgins and some other dudes.
Oh, T. Higgins ought to be the guy. Tyler Boyd.
There you go. That was the other one I was thinking of.
Hayden Hurst is out.
Oh, he is. Oh, I was going to say, I can't remember their tight end's name either, but he is hurt. Oh, damn. Okay, well, it's fine. They still got Samaje Perine.
Joe Mixon will play, and he just talked shit this week about how they are the big dogs in the AFC.
Ooh,
so,
Joe.
And everyone else got to settle for it.
Joe, keep your damn mouth shut, okay? Damn. Okay, I didn't know that. Buffalo gonna come out here and hit him a couple times. I like that. He might go back right on the injured list. We don't know, but this is gonna get good. Dang. Okay. Nah, this will be a great game. I'm pumped to watch this game tomorrow. You mentioned it's gonna be a great game. It's gonna be a great game. But you're giving me a free point. I'll take it. Half point.
All right. I'll get us out of here then. We've been going for a while. Follow us on Twitter at secondary_lead. And remember to like, subscribe, download, and maybe comment on whatever platform you may be listening to us on, or if you're watching us on our YouTube page. And always remember that the Secondary Lead Sportscast has been brought to you by SPJ Productions.
This is the Secondary Lead.
Let's get the fuck out!